fashion, music, wellness.
And don't forget sex.
Mostly sex.
If it's trending, they'll be talking about it. Trend Radio is right here.
And right now, I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
And we always have something great to say.
Because it's us. So stay tuned.
You'll be glad you did. Good morning, Elise.
Good morning.
And how's Big Al doing at the little board?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Big board.
You're doing good. Thank you.
Do we have a sexy show for you today?
Really?
It's very sexy.
Really?
Yes.
You're sure?
I know.
Yes, it is. It's always sexy, though.
So, I have a question.
Okay.
How normal is your sex drive?
Mine or not mine?
Not yours particularly.
Okay.
You know, I want to know
You
some
wanna know from
weird
people.
weird things that are actually very, very normal.
Like what?
Well, like having a bigger sex drive than he does.
Okay, women definitely have a bigger sex drive than men.
Oh.
You know, there are many different studies out there, and they say that women typically have 25% higher sex drive than most men.
Al, where are these women? Where?
You know, I think I have to tell you something, though. It really depends on the man that they're with or the person that they're with.
Okay.
You know? I mean, let's face it, if it's you.
It's me. It's always me.
I'm just kidding.
You know
I'm just kidding.
you know the story with the breakup? It's not you, it's me. Oh no, it's definitely
No,
it's definitely me.
no. The movie The Breakup?
Yes.
No. She just wants him to want to wash the dishes. I want you to want to do it. Yeah, he didn't want to do it.
Well,
But I understand that. I want you to want to do it. Yeah, it's awful. Anyway, stress.
that's what I'm saying. You stress me every show. I am stressed.
You are not stressed. Okay. There's a study that found like anxious women were less interested in sex, but they're more likely to masturbate.
Oh, so they don't want to be bothered.
Well, they're just not in the mood to be with their partner or a partner. They would just like to take care of business by themselves. They have stress. They're anxiety ridden. You know, they just need it to get done. You know, it's so funny. I have a couple of friends like that.
Just need to get it done?
They just, I have one friend in particular. She masturbates seriously like 2 to 3 times a day. She's just not in the mood. Yeah. She just needs to get it done. She's just really, 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 really anxiety ridden. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's a lot of women, like 13% of women say they think about sex several times a day.
Where are these women?
Okay, stop.
I don't know.
Stop.
What?
And a lot of women
Are they coming to the salon?
Women come into the salon all the time. Our clientele.
No, I'm talking about these women.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're my clients.
Of course they are.
Yeah. But you know, also, and this is something that's huge. A lot of women say they need foreplay. They need a lot of foreplay.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, even if you're not in the mood, foreplay will trigger something sexual for you. But a lot of men don't do foreplay.
They don't know how.
That's not true.
You know,
First of all, we've told them.
You know what Italian foreplay is? Now, Al, I don't know if you could get this on the radio, but I'm gonna give you an example of Italian foreplay.
Oh, boy. All right, everybody, just so you know, he just snapped his fingers and pointed down. Ay.
So you're saying that's not enough for them? These selfish, greedy women?
We've had the show about foreplay, haven't we? Don't you know what it is?
I have. I don't remember.
Yes.
I don't remember.
We've had the show about foreplay. Foreplay starts between the ears. Okay, we've had that. And the thing is that in the morning, the little text, the little phone call, the little, hey, baby, I'm thinking about you kind of thing, that's when it starts. The little notes during the day, the little calls during the day, the little moments during the day.
Yeah, but I get headaches.
And you know what? I have to tell you something. You are acting like a headache right now. But I have to tell you something about headaches. It's also been proven that an orgasm can help with a headache. And that also, listen to this, a lot of women they're saying. Women with headaches are more prone to, especially migraine sufferers, have a higher sex drive. They want more sex because they also know that when you're having an orgasm,
Gets rid of the headache.
well, it doesn't always get rid of the headache. Sometimes the headache will come back, and sometimes we've had situations when you do have a migraine. I mean, when you do have an orgasm, you can have a thunderclap headache, and that will just bring on a headache. But a lot of times, people with headaches or pain, bodily pain, fibromyalgia, all kinds of different things like that, when you're having an orgasm, there's that time period when the serotonin's in the brain, the incredible amounts of serotonin, and all the pain goes away. And so you don't feel the headache, you don't feel the body pain for quite some time because of the orgasm. Yeah.
Well, I think that my problem is I have always dated smokers, and they smell like smoke,
Okay, and that's yucky.
Yeah.
But smoke also gloms up your arteries, and it makes you, it inhibits your arousal. A lot of smokers have a much lower sex drive.
Really?
Than most women, yeah, and men. Yeah. Yeah. Aside from anything, and that is actually, it's a proven fact. It comes from a Montreal sex psychologist, Jim Faust. He's a PhD, and he says, you want less sex if you're a smoker. It's a proven fact, they say.
Well, and I thought it was just like a little bit of a dry spell.
No, you can get stuck in a dry spell anytime, I mean, the less sexually active you are, the less you'll want it. That's like, for instance, it takes 4 to 5 days to break a habit.
Really?
When you don't do something for a certain period of time.
You mean like argue with you?
You lose interest. That's the thing. You lose interest in something when you don't do it for a certain period of time.
So if I don't argue with you, you'll lose interest in arguing back.
It's easy to get into
So in other words,
term
peace and quiet rut.
Oh my gosh. You're unbelievable.
I have heard that many times.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you.
Anyway, speaking of getting stuck in a dry spell, to avoid something like that, you want to make sure that you continue with the good stuff, the foreplay that happens between the ears. Do it every day. It's important. It's important.
Well, you know what else
Nobody likes a dry spell.
No. And speaking of importance and a dry spell, do you know it's important to pee before sex, even if you think it's going to ruin the moment?
Really? I always thought it was important after for women especially, but it's important before as well?
Oh, absolutely.
And why is that?
Well, I'm going to tell you. Okay, so you may have heard, like you said, of the importance of peeing after sex.
That's to avoid any kind of urinary tract infection and stuff like that.
That's right.
Yeah, but why before?
Well, as it turns out, it can also be crucial, even if it means like awkwardly pausing your foreplay.
It's like this. I know you're excited. I know, but I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
Well, yeah, and that's a good thing, because holding urine for any amount of time, when you experience the urge, that can be harmful to your bladder.
Okay, but let me ask you something. What if you don't have to pee? What if you don't have to go to the bathroom before sex?
Well, then don't. But sometimes it happens in the middle of having sex.
Okay, so you just want to say, hey, hang on a second, I have to pee?
Oh, yeah.
For real?
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't know that people are going to do that.
Well, they should, because,
okay.
That if holding your urine during sex really can increase your risk for UTIs and bladder spasms. And bladder, that's a form of incontinence caused by the UTIs.
My gosh.
Yeah. And people with vaginas are especially at risk for UTIs.
Yes. Women definitely are at risk. And that's because they have a shorter urethra than men.
Not the Italian.
Stop it. Than men, because, men have longer urethras.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I can understand that, sexual activity leads to a lot of bacteria, that kind of thing.
That's right.
And I can understand, you can actually accidentally spread that as you're having sex, which can cause all kinds of different infections. So
That's
I guess
right.
that would be the reason why.
That's the reason. And there's only one thing spread when I think about having sex. Lost my breath. Your legs.
Oh.
Duh.
Ay,
All right.
ay.
All right. But like we said, it doesn't always feel 100% natural to
Get up and go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can feel like you're ruining the moment, but
Yes.
think of it this way.
Okay.
It's hard to focus on a pleasure, connection, and fun if you have
that's
to urinate.
true. If you have to go to the bathroom, you can't focus really on anything.
That's right.
That is true.
And I'm gonna tell you a true story about a friend of mine.
It is a true story?
This is a very true story. And not all of my stories are true,
Which is why I asked.
but this one is.
Al and I seem to like that one. We're ganging up on you just a little. All right, tell us the true story.
Okay, when my friend was a young man in his early 20s, he used to hang out at this place, and he met.
Which friend?
We'll call him.
I love it. Okay, go on.
Well,
no need
anyway.
to give him a name.
So he met like one of the most beautiful women.
They're all beautiful.
I mean, this
Breathtaking.
she was.
Okay.
She was about 10 years older than him. Black hair, blue eyes, alabaster skin, just
I
magnificent.
find it amazing
figure.
that he remembers the detail of this woman for from his friend's memory.
Oh, I remember very, very well.
Okay, so go on.
So this love affair that he had with this, I guess was an older woman at the time. It went on and on and on for probably for months. And they would meet every Friday and Saturday night, and they'd have drinks together, and they'd have, a bite to eat. But nothing ever happened until that star-filled night where the sky was clear, the moon was full.
And the moment was there.
The moment was there. I was
And then your friend.
my friend was at her house, and she said to him, "Do you want to go in the other room?" And he said, "Oh, yes." And they went in the other room, and he had to pee so bad, but he did not want to interrupt that moment. So he did that. He did it with a full bladder. It was painful. That moment, that magical moment, was ruined because he didn't know. He was too young to.
To say I have to go, I say excuse me for just one moment.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So then it wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
It
Yeah. Okay.
the
So
planets did not align.
The moral of the story is just take a little pee break before you go in. If you have to go, you must go.
Even during. So.
Even during. Just, tap your partner on the shoulder and say, "Be right back." You don't even have to say that. Just say, "BRB."
The important thing, Elise, is to take your bathroom break. The important thing, Elise, is that you take it if you need it.
Oh, my God.
The important thing, Elise, is that you can recapture the moment as soon as you and your bladder are ready.
Speaking to someone who actually knows this, I agree with you, Anthony.
First time for everything.
Oh, that was good. That was a good story.
Anyway, the moral of this story.
I already
is
said the
that-
moral. P.
Well, I got another moral.
Yeah, what's that?
All right. The gap between what we learned in sex ed and what we're learning through sexual experience is a big gap, way too big. So what we're doing here at Trend Radio is we're helping to connect the dots by talking about the realities of sex from how it's done to how you make sure it's consensual, safe, healthy, and pleasurable for all.
Consensual being the key word here. That's a very important word.
Of course. So you don't hear these things.
No, it's really very, very important that we remember that it's consensual. People get lost in a moment sometimes, and before you know it, it's not consensual. One of the, usually, unfortunately, the way I hear it, because I sit with women all the time, a lot of times that turns into something that's not consensual, and it results in a very bad situation.
They just do it because they feel as though they have to. Or
no, sometimes they're not wanting to have intercourse, and yet that happens because the arousal is there and they are participating in the kissing and the foreplay, but not interested in necessarily going further, making it very clear that they're not interested, but they're getting lost in the moment. I
dated a girl like that once.
No, that's a very serious situation, though.
Oh, yeah.
That actually does really happen. And I've had conversations with some of my friends, some of my clients, and they're in a relationship with somebody that is extremely aggressive. And although they're trying to work things through and work things out, they might be kissing, they might be touching, they might be laying in each other's arms, and things go a little further than they wanted it to go. And then the end result is not always a good one.
That's right. And, and I agree with that. No means no.
No does mean no. And this is what I say to these ladies. Here's the deal. If no really does mean no, and you really don't want to be with that person and have intercourse with that person, then you need to make up your mind that you shouldn't necessarily be kissing that person.
Well, I have a different
because things can happen.
Idea.
Things can happen and they can get carried away, and then before you know it, and you can't do really very much about that. Mm-hmm. Because how are you going to say to the authorities, well, he raped me, but you're sitting there, unfortunately,
naked
with him
in a hotel room,
with him in your bed, and you said, no, I don't want to do that, but I will lay in bed with you. I don't want to do that, but I will kiss you. I don't want to do that, but I will cuddle with you. That's a problem. That's giving a different perspective to this person, and I don't necessarily agree that he should take advantage. I mean, if you say, no, I don't want to do that particular thing, he should respect that. He absolutely should, but unfortunately, sometimes that happens where it doesn't work out that way, and then it goes a little further than you planned.
Right, and a friend of mine, we'll call him Samuel, he would nip that right in the bud. And this is what he would do. It's always awkward to be with someone intimately for the first time. So what he would do is he would from the very beginning, maybe you've gone out once or twice or only once, you wind up back at somebody's apartment, and there you are, and you're having that glass of wine, which as we know, arouses women more than men. So the red wine. What he would do is he would just come right out and say, I want you to feel comfortable. And tell me if this is acceptable to you. I'm going to kiss you. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to hold you. Maybe we'll French kiss. Maybe I'll leave a hickey on your tummy. But that's it. That's what you can expect from me. Nothing more.
Tonight.
Okay. And are you comfortable with that?
So I would love it if our listeners out there would give us a little feedback on this particular situation that I'm going to say.
Okay.
So I know somebody. I had the pleasure of meeting this person, and she told me a few different things about her relationship. Okay, we're going to call this girl Allie.
Okay.
Okay, and she's in a relationship with, I think his name is Jeremiah. Okay, so Jerry, whatever. Anyway, so they're in this relationship, and he's extremely headstrong, very aggressive, and she's a little bit uncomfortable with that. Their personalities don't mesh very, very well. Now, they're in a relationship. They've already had intercourse. They've been together for, almost a year. And
That long?
they've had intercourse. They've had a relationship. It's been going well, but she was not comfortable with the relationship because everything was his way, not her way. There was no compromise.
Mm-hmm.
So she decided to leave the relationship. End of story. And he went ballistic. He went crazy. He blew up her phone, her email, her Facebook, her every social media aspect area that he could find. He blew up. He called her friends. He called her mother. I mean, he went crazy. Finally, she went back with him because she really, in her mind, she believed he loved her because he was trying so hard to be with her again. And I was trying to explain to her that that's actually not love, that's control. If you know that you were with him for a certain amount of time and you saw those same qualities, that's control. Every time you didn't want to be with him, he went crazy. The next time they were together alone, she said she didn't feel comfortable having sex with him. She wanted to take things slow. He said to her, "You can't control me." And he took what he wanted, basically. And the next morning, she was devastated, absolutely devastated. So even though they were in a relationship, even though they were together and they had a history together, even though she was laying in bed with him, even though she was cuddling and kissing him, she specifically said, "I don't feel comfortable having sex with you at this time." He did it anyway. What is that considered to you? Email us. Let us know your thoughts on this. trendradio920@gmail.com.
We're going to take a quick break, and Trend Radio continues right after this on 920 The Jersey.
We'd like to thank artists, where seniors are respected, choices are given, life is lived in the moment together. Moving on.
Wow, this is really interesting. And I wonder if the intercourse, if oral would be included or anal would be included, because a lot of individuals think that oral and anal is not sex. They only think that
anal is definitely sex. It's actually called anal sex, and oral is actually sex because it's called oral sex. When you're using
they don't use the word sex anymore. They only call it, if you look and see anything written about it, it's only called oral and it's only called anal.
But it is still sex. It's a form of sex.
Well, I don't know.
It's a form of penetration.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily intercourse.
Okay.
But it's definitely sexual activity.
And it's not outer course.
It's sexual activity.
All right.
If you're having anal sex, and you're penetrating a person, that is sex.
All righty. So there are plenty of misconceptions out there about anal, but I think the biggest one is that nobody's doing it.
Oh, I don't agree with you there.
And you shouldn't.
I think that many people are doing it. I just don't think that they're necessarily talking about doing it. But
Okay.
they're definitely doing it.
Okay.
And I know that for a fact. That I have a friend who sells all those lovely little toys that we talk about periodically.
Oh, yeah.
And she gets sales phone calls all the time, and anal is their number one seller.
Really?
Yeah, anal toys and anal sex toy, any kind of anal video, anything anal is actually their number one.
I've been told that
sale.
my personality is somewhat anal. That's not the same thing, is it? Please say it's not.
You know what? I'm not saying a word.
Well, according to the results of a new study, at least 1 in 3 straight women in the U.S. have tried anal at some point in her life.
Of course.
You know, the study was published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, and researchers analyzed data from the National Survey of Family Growth, including information from nationally representative samples of over 10,000 heterosexual women between the ages of 15 and 44.
Wow, 15 is too young to be doing anything, but...
Well, and it's usually the younger they are, they say they're still a virgin. They may have anal or oral, but they're still a virgin. And I think that's what I was talking about.
Okay, now that's completely different, okay? They haven't broken their so-called little hymen cherry, whatever you want to call it. Yes, that is completely different. Now, they're still having sex. They're still sexual.
Okay.
They're still having sexual activity. They're still doing whatever they're doing.
But they consider themselves
virgins because they actually haven't had vaginal sex.
Okay.
That's the reason.
That makes sense.
Okay, it doesn't really actually make sense, but that's what you're talking. That's
what
what's
happens
going on.
is all these studies and journals that we read for this show, they kind of blend together after a certain time, but over 1/3 of those women, those 10,000 women between 15 and 44, over 1/3 of them reported having tried anal. And the women who were most likely to report having had were in their 20s.
Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah. No religious affiliation. They had higher levels of income and education.
Yeah.
And while anal was equally common among women of all racial and ethnic backgrounds, it was actually more common among those who were either married or cohabitating with their partners.
Because it's a very personal thing to do.
Okay.
And so you definitely want to trust who you're with.
Okay.
With that. It's very personal. And, because of the circumstances with it, I mean, you're definitely it's a lot. It's a much smaller area, if you will. It's a tighter area. So there's going to be more pain, especially the first time. So you want to be with somebody that you trust.
Actually, do you know that there are almost as many nerve endings back there as there are in the clitoris?
I believe that you're right, but because it's a tighter area and because it's not something that you're necessarily used to doing, you're going to feel a different kind of level of pain. And there are so many nerve endings, so you want to be able to trust the person that you're with.
Okay.
You can do some pretty heavy damage there, yeah.
Okay. Well, we just want our listeners to know that it's important to keep in mind that this study only included women who identified as heterosexual. So the results don't necessarily apply to people of all genders and sexual orientation, but they do give us a better idea of the women who are more up front about the back door visitors.
When you said up front, I knew you were going there. Yeah.
So there might be more women out there than you thought.
I pretty know most of them.
Ring the doorbell. Speaking of ringing the doorbell and these poor abused women, I heard there was this poor woman that just wanted a great date. So she put an ad out on, I think it was OkCupid, and she said, I want a man who loves me. I want him to be a good lover, but I don't want him to beat me. And when we finally get together, I don't want him to run away and leave me. So she puts this in an OkCupid ad, and sure enough, she gets an answer to her ad. The doorbell rings. She opens the door, and there is a man there. We'll call him Bob. He had no arms and no legs. So he said, I am your perfect soulmate. He said, I have no arms and hands to beat you with. I have no legs to run away from you. I am your man. I will be with you. She said, but you have no arms and legs. I want someone who's a good lover. He says to her, how do you think I rang the doorbell?
Oh, Anthony. Taking a quick break. Trend Radio continues after this on 920 The Jersey.
We'd like to thank the team at Artis, a family of open-minded, compassionate, and dedicated individuals who have experienced dementia in their own families. Together, they've created a nurturing environment tailored to each resident's unique needs.
Join Artis for a free memory screen, Wednesday, August 23rd, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 731 Alexander Road, Suite 204 in Princeton. A light lunch will be served. Any questions? Call 609-454-3360. Reservations are required, so call them now. You'll be glad you did.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
These thieves made off with like 30,000 condoms.
What thieves?
In Las Vegas, and over $10,000 worth of
How?
Sex toys.
How?
Well, there is this high-end sex toy company in Vegas, and it was the target of these two very successful break-ins by a pair of thieves.
Just two people did this?
Just two people who were clearly looking for a good time.
Okay, was it two guys, a guy and a girl, two girls?
Well, it was two guys.
Two guys,
Yep.
okay.
And the robbers broke into a warehouse and they snapped up about 30,000 Lalo Hex brand condoms.
Are you serious?
That's right. And then the following day.
They went back?
Yep.
They went back.
And they stole.
They were successful stealing 30,000 condoms and they went back to get more.
The next day, but they went and they stole like 3 pallets of sex toys, which had a total value of like $10,000.
Yeah, but they went back. Amazing.
And, well, the stolen goods were 33 Hugo prostate massagers.
Oh my gosh.
Retail.
They're expensive.
Yeah. Oh, you
Prostate?
have one?
I don't have a prostate.
Oh. Yeah, they're like over $200 each.
Yeah, they are.
And you know, there's video of this too, by the way.
Do they know where they are?
I don't think they found them.
Oh my gosh. What else did they steal?
They stole 48 Luna Kegel beads.
Okay. Kegel beads are important.
$49.
Yeah.
And 52 Clit Busters was the name of the toy.
Oh my God, they're expensive too.
Yeah, $195
Yeah, they're a
each.
couple $100. Yeah. I know this because of my friend.
Yeah, yes. Oh, so you know these toys?
Yes.
Yeah.
We talk about these kinds of things.
Well-
These are popular. How'd they know to get the popular ones?
I guess they just knew.
Oh my gosh. I guess any toy is popular these days though.
I wouldn't know. So
Love you.
the company did offer up an opportunity for a pretty memorable press release. So, and they titled it, "You might question our security here, but you can't argue with our protection."
Ha, that's hysterical.
And you can go online and you can see the security video of both heists. And
And they haven't caught the guys?
no. And the theft came at a really strange time when the company was actually about to give away thousands of condoms for a publicity stunt that was just a few days away.
Oh, so they lost all their condoms that they were going to use for that.
Right, but they did make a commercial or a promotion on on that.
Wow.
So that was very, very funny.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, what's funny?
Tell me what's funny.
We talk a lot about anal lately.
Yeah.
And do you know that there's such a thing as anal Botox?
I never heard of that. I've heard of Botox for everything, including migraines, but definitely not for your butt.
Yeah, it's typically for fine lines, wrinkles,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Wow. How much is that?
Well, it's a lot of money.
I imagine that it could be a lot of money.
This Manhattan plastic surgeon, his name is Dr. Evan Goldstein.
Okay.
His specialty is, wait for this, anal rejuvenation.
Huh?
Anal rejuvenation.
I heard you, but I'm just shocked.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, the doctor's work involves tightening, loosening.
The butt? The anal? Yeah.
Yes, shaping up the anal opening. And,
I don't even understand this.
and he uses all the tools at Modern Plastic Surgery's disposal.
And so now, I've heard of anal bleaching, which I think is ridiculous, but
That's right.
I mean, they do it all the time now.
Didn't we have a friend who needed that, or boyfriend wanted her to get it, or something like that?
I
vaguely recall something about that.
do remember something about that, but somebody was talking about it, but I don't think it's really our friend.
Oh, well, whatever. But yeah,
I can't
you heard
imagine.
of that. We met that doctor and that cute little adorable porno actress there who had the vaginal rejuvenation.
Yes, she did. Well, she needed it. You know what she does.
Yes.
She's what, 25 years old? Mm-hmm. Yeah, poor little thing. But anyway.
So anyway, Dr. Goldstein, who happens to be gay, found himself in a field that most likely treated anal cancers and hemorrhoids. Okay, and he never even thought about, the area's cosmetic potential. So what he did is he began offering a tightening and loosening service.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Why would you want a loosening service if you're just going to have it tightened again?
Well, I guess
I'm just thinking,
you said that sometimes it's too tight and can be painful.
Exactly, but then it
So he
does
can-
automatically loosen it up. It does loosen up. I mean, you relax, first of all. And secondly, there's stretching tools, there's stretching toys, there's stretching all the kinds of...
Well, maybe if you're stretched out too far,
Then you get stretched out too far, and then you have to tighten it
Tighten
again.
it up, but...
Wow, he makes a lot of money, doesn't he, though?
Yes, he does.
Wow.
And the funny thing is that, people are not only interested in cosmetic surgery, the doctor offers treatments for a lot more traditional ailments like the hemorrhoids and fissures. And you had asked this a second ago. Depending on the affected area, these procedures can run anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000.
$25,000 for anal Botox?
Yeah, well,
Are you kidding?
Maybe that's the tightening. That's the, maybe that might be a surgical procedure.
Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine. Of course, you'd have to pay me $25,000 to go spread somebody's cheeks apart and give them a shot.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny. I had a friend in the and he was in the hospital, and he had this thing where you had to give shots in the butt, like round the clock. Every couple of hours he was getting a shot in the butt. He was getting tired of it. And the nurse would come in and she'd say, "It's time for your shot. It's time for your shot. Going to give it to you in the butt." And he'd say, "Time for your shot. Time for your shot." That's all you say. How would you like it if your man came in to tell you, "I'm going to give it to you in the butt every couple hours"? And she said, "Oh, I would love that." So they got married.
That's great. That's great. Oh, you are just a jokester today.
Anyway.
Isn't he, Al?
Yes,
Yeah.
he is. He's coming out with it.
Yeah, he sure is. He's on point today.
I'm working on my next career.
Ay, good for you. You are funny.
So, funny like a clown, like
Yes.
ha ha.
Yes, like funny, like you're here to amuse me funny. Okay? That's the kind of clown that you are. You're here to amuse me. Like, let's go on.
So who are the folks getting these procedures?
I do not know.
So
Who?
one man, we'll call him Tom. He employed Dr. Goldstein's services to correct a previous surgery, and in the end, pardon the pun, how does it feel? Yes, it was a victory.
Okay.
This is all Tom wanted from the beginning, for this tiny little thing to look beautiful.
Oh, boy.
But while the majority of Goldstein's clients are gay men, he does say that more and more women are coming in for this procedure as well.
Wow.
You know?
You know what? I can understand if it's something for, health reasons. And all right, cosmetic is definitely important to a lot of people. But I don't know. I just seem like it's an awful lot of money to spend on an area that it's not really for show.
Well, actually,
I guess.
he gets a lot of plumbers as clients.
my gosh.
So,
Because they have the money for that.
and they want an attractive bum behind.
Well, I understand
So the
that.
plumber is always showing off.
His crack.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, da-da-da-dum.
So anyway, whether you're purely health or purely cosmetic reasoning or anything in between, it seems that anal rejuvenation is cracking out of the stereotype.
No
and
pun intended,
into the
right?
niche markets and into the Main Street beauty services.
Wow. Wow, that is a riot. That is unbelievable. He's got some heck of a thing going on there.
Yes, he does.
You know? That's serious.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and Trend Radio continues right after this on 920 The Jersey.
Join artists for a free memory screen. Wednesday, August 23rd, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. 731 Alexander Road, Suite 204 in Princeton. A light lunch will be served. Any questions? Call 609-454-3360. Reservations are required, so call them now. You'll be glad you did. We'd like to thank Artists, a beautiful acronym. A, for the ability to have a voice. R, respecting and maintaining relationships. T, treasuring each person's uniqueness. I, for integrity. And S, for success and recognition. The Artist Way.
One of the things that we haven't talked about in a long time is...
But we have talked about it.
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like rough sex.
Oh, yeah, we talk about that all the time.
Yeah. But we've never talked about how many people actually like
Oh, yeah.
it. Then it's like surprising.
Oh, my God. No, people love that.
Yeah. So,
Especially when you're with somebody you can trust.
Oh,
you can
that's-
just let go.
you know, you got to have your safe word, though.
Absolutely.
And the safe word might be,
Gorilla.
or apple pie.
Could be.
Well, anyway, people, here is your excuse to try something kinky tonight.
Oh, I thought of another word.
Oh, okay.
Perpendicular.
Oh, yes. That might have a double meaning. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
Well, OkCupid polled more than 400,000 members, and that dating website found that 62% of women enjoy rough sex.
Yep.
Why?
Oh, why?
Being bitten, scratched, spanked? What?
It's a total turn on.
Really?
Total turn on. Yeah. It increases your blood flow, your blood pressure, your heart rate, the serotonin that's in your brain, the oxytocin that goes, it expands. It's just, it's delicious. Women love it. Men love it. I mean, plus, you know what? Like I said, your brain, your brain,
Your brain?
your brain flows where pain responds and sexual arousals overlap.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? There's a researcher, Nicole Prouse. She's a PhD. And she interprets it as sexual excitement.
Oh.
You know?
Okay.
The benefits go beyond the bedroom. They do. They go beyond the bedroom also. Yeah, you can do stuff in the kitchen. There's all kinds of things you can.
I have a bunch of spatulas and wooden spoons.
Exactly. Now you understand. Exactly. Hey, did you ever see the movie Stripes?
I did.
Okay, so there's a scene where Bill Murray goes in and he's got the little officer, the MP,
Yeah.
and they're in the kitchen and he lifts her up and he puts her like on the stove and he turns the stove
heat on?
the heat on for a second and she jumps off. He's like, oh my God, look how fast and then he's hitting her with a spatula, a wooden spoon. He's got the egg beater. He's chasing her with the egg beater. It's all kinds of things. And, they end up in a little box together, a little toy box.
A toy box?
Yeah, in the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In
The
her
toy
boss's-
box that we talk about, or
No, they're in this they had a big toy box in front of their bed.
okay.
The officer that they ran into their house, but anyway,
Alrighty. So, what actually turns women on? When they're feeling a little adventurous.
well, I'll tell you. 62% of them said having their hair pulled gets them going.
Oh,
And about 60% like it when their partner actually takes control. Control is a very big thing. Most women these days are very controlling.
Yes, they are.
Okay, and I'm not saying it in a bad way, but you see, women are
am.
put in, because women
Okay.
are put now in, women are put in positions of power these days. So they are very controlling and they just kind of want to let loose.
Kind of like Wonder Woman.
I love Wonder Woman. Don't even talk about her, okay? She's my girl, okay? So don't even say that, okay? But a lot of women have very dominant, if you will, positions.
Oh, yes.
And they just want to let go. They just want somebody to just do it for them. Not necessarily their job, their work, or anything like that, but to arouse them. They don't want to have to do it on their own because really, who likes that? So when their guy just kind of tugs at their hair and nibbles at their shoulder and they get excited and they want more. So he'll pull a little harder and bite a little stronger and bruise her just a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. And then it goes from there. You see?
Yeah.
Women love that.
I wouldn't know.
Well, that's because you're not a woman. Other things that also top off, like, kinky behavior, if you will. Women love to be bitten. They love it. I can't explain why every woman likes this or many women like it, but being bitten, hearing, dirty talk. We talked about dirty talk.
My friend Vladimir.
Okay, so we're not talking Dracula here, okay?
Oh, okay.
And being tied up. I actually had a conversation recently with a woman who ties up her guy.
The female dominant.
I couldn't do that. I don't know. I don't want to tie anybody up.
Well, there are men. Now,
There
this
are
is
some men that like that.
and just like the women who are in big positions, these men who are, have a lot of stress, they look for a dominatrix.
Okay, they're in really big, a lot of them are in big positions
Yeah.
and they're working, I don't know, from 6 a.m. until 12 p.m., 12 a.m., they're constantly working, they're dining people, bringing them all over the place, and they just want to let go. But there are a lot of women like that too.
Yeah.
They have a screaming kid at home or 3, and they have, a big job, and they clean the house, and they do whatever they're doing, and they take care of, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they
I
just
have
want
a
to let go.
screaming co-host, but she never screams with the mic on. She only screams at me when the mic is off. Just saying.
I don't scream. So.
Ow.
Okay, you know what? In
Are
fact,
you Italian?
Stop it, stop it.
Yeah, hit.
Because you love. Okay. In fact, you know what? There's also a survey that found OkCupid members are 23% more likely to say they're into BDSM than they were in 2013. Okay? And coincidentally,
I think we got to go. We got to do some experimenting on this. Okay,
Valentine's Day, when 50 Shades Darker made its debut, that's when things went up a little bit too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Well, that was a really big deal. Now, personally, I read it and, whatever. That's all I can say about that.
I think
but
the
it
books
really
did
hit.
better than the movies.
Oh
didn't
my
they?
God, yeah. But I thought the movie was pretty good. I didn't see all of them, but the one, I saw the original one.
Mm-hmm.
She's cute. She's very cute. But then again, Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson, how could they make anything bad? Think about that.
Well, just keep in mind that this isn't something that you surprise your partner with. If you both want to get a little adventurous.
Oh, you need to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely.
We talk
yes.
about that, though. Communication is key in any relationship.
That's right.
Discuss everything.
That's right. And if you guys out there are ready to give the green light on a little bit of hair pulling, some biting, and taking control,
A little hair pulling.
we say have a great time.
And be careful and remember your safe word. What is the safe word again?
Correla.
Say it with the accent, okay? It sounds better.
Maguila Corrella. So what are some of these things that that women are using to improve their sex lives? You know, we talked about the toys and
Porn.
movies.
Yeah.
That's right. But you probably heard some people bragging about that that marijuana makes
I was about
sex
to say a little wine or a little.
Yeah, we've talked about all of that today.
A little. Yeah. Smoke.
Oh, but you
That's
said
what they.
that like you know what you're talking about.
No, but I read a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, and these people
And
aren't
you know
total
what?
stoners, right?
No. They're really not. They just want to lighten their lives a little.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting. The marijuana thing is a huge thing these days. People are almost offended if you talk about it. If you talk about, you know, using marijuana for something. I understand that because it's still illegal, quote unquote, in our state. And I understand that, you know, people get like a little squeamish, especially some doctors these days. But people are using marijuana for a lot more than just, you know, their sexual pleasure.
Okay. I know it's there's issues if you're a cancer patient.
Well, there are issues if you're a cancer patient because you're in pain.
And it helps with that.
It does. And that's the reason. And I'm very open about it. I used marijuana while I was going through chemo.
Oh.
I absolutely did. And I don't really care what anybody thinks about that. There was nothing to take away that pain. And I don't really care. If you've never had chemotherapy, you do not know how painful that is. So keep your mouth shut and don't worry about your judgment or anything like that, because it's very, very, very important that you actually get through this. So whoever is out there listening, if that's what you're going through right now, then by all means, you do whatever it takes to get out of pain. That's something that I had to say.
That is a first-hand recommendation.
Absolutely. You do what it takes. So don't let anybody make you feel badly.
Well, there's a California-based digital healthcare company called Hello MD, and
I love that. Hello, MD.
Hello MD, and their platform for the cannabis industry found that 14% of surveyed participants used pot to not only decrease pain, but to increase their libido.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
You know, we have a cooking show coming up. I'm wondering if we could use marijuana on the show to cook with.
Now, we can't do that because, again, it's not legal in New Jersey. So we're not going to do that.
Oh.
And we're not going to make those recommendations yet.
Oh, okay. But things might change.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anyway, the survey found that women are slightly more likely to say yes to smoking a little marijuana before having sex.
Yeah.
And it's worth pointing out that...
And that you said a mouthful right there. A little.
Right, a
A little goes a long way.
That's right.
This way you stay alert, you stay in the moment. You just kind of let loose.
That's right. Absolutely. Women's health expert Jennifer Weidler, she's an MD, and she isn't shocked that some people are using pot as a sex enhancer.
She's in shock?
No, she isn't shocked.
Oh, she isn't shocked. Okay.
She is not. You know, some people reported that it really elevates their mood and it reduces their inhibitions, their anxiety.
Exactly. And that's just like having, you know, a little wine.
Yeah.
Everything in moderation.
And it actually stimulates their desire for the sexual activity.
And it's natural.
And there's a New York City sex therapist, Ian Kerner. He's a PhD, and he says pot can help lower the anxiety in many people, which can then help with their arousal and their orgasmic issues. Now,
oh my God, absolutely.
And
it can help in so many ways.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Now, he works with men who have had more success with pot than with Viagra for helping their
And
ED
isn't
problems.
that interesting? Isn't that an interesting thing? That's amazing. See, so when you have an issue with ED, erectile dysfunction, a lot of times, I mean, it could be a whole many different things, but a lot of times it's anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times. If you narrow it down and find that's what it is, okay, I'm sorry, but you know what? A little bit of marijuana can help you there so that you don't have to take a little blue pill. I mean, come on. I think that's amazing. If you can, instead of go with something natural as opposed to something synthetic.
You're always natural.
Absolutely.
You know, and these people also said that they use pot to relax.
Exactly.
And what it did is it elevated their mood. It helped them sleep.
Well, once you're relaxed, you're not thinking about, pardon this, but the crap in your life, and you're going forward, and you can do other things that are more beneficial to you.
That's right. That's right.
Keep yourself clear, believe it or not.
Keep yourself clear. So, you know, if you're looking for a libido booster but never have been into this stuff, well, now is probably not the time to pick your pot habit. But if you're already a marijuana fan and you find that it revs you up in the sack, well, it's good to know that you're not the only one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I actually have a few friends that actually do use it, and they say, you know, it's great for them. It benefits their lives, and they don't have to worry about anything because it comes right out of your system. It's all natural. So that's a really cool thing right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. You have been listening to Trend Radio, and we talk about what's hot every Saturday morning at about 10 a.m. If you want more, go right to our
He's
website.
high right now. I'm kidding.
It's 920thejersey.com. And what you do is you go to 920thejersey.com, you click on demand, and you scroll directly to us.
And then you'll get the lowdown on Getting Down, because you're going to tune into your bad boy inside you.
Or your bad girl, or your bad trans, or your bad whatever.
In other words, listen each week, because we always have something sexy to say. And if you've got questions, email us now at trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
And remember,
Oh my God.
your smile, that's your logo. And your personality, well, that's your business card.
But how you make people feel, well, that becomes your trademark.
I am Antonio Vincenzo.
And I'm Elise.
We're going to talk to you next week.
Bye for now.
Oh, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine.